Right, welcome back. So I'll finish the bully story. So this kid would bully me. He'd punch me and kick me, and my mum didn't stop it because I told her not to. So it went on for a bit more, and I would try to escape him. So I'd always go to my class as early as possible, and he usually doesn't know where my class is. So I'd go to my class and I'd get there, because if I stayed at the sometimes at the speech and language place, he wouldn't be able to come and hit me. But at that point in time, the speech and language people were trying to convince us to not stay there as much because it's not healthy. So I decided to just try to get to my class as early as possible and stay in front of the door, because that way, at least then, he wouldn't be able to do anything. So at one point, he'd start chasing me, and I'd try to get away, but because I'm a fat person, it wasn't really possible. So he'd mostly catch me and start beating me up. It didn't get really that bad. I didn't start bleeding or anything. It was just bruises mostly. At most times, he didn't really even hit that hard. He always hit the belly area, which wasn't that bad actually. And I started defending myself. I'd put my arms up so he wouldn't hit my face, and I'd lift my legs up slightly. And he'd like, "Oh, you're defending yourself, are you?" And he keeps on punching. And he'd punch the arms to try and get them down, and he'd try to punch my face, but I didn't have it. So he'd always punch at the legs and stuff. But it was always the belly that he punched. I think it's because he just didn't like me. Actually, no, I'm not too sure, but I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, what happened was, later on, two girls that were in my class saw him beating me up outside the dinner area. Like, not inside the building, but outside the building. There were no windows or anything, so no one could see me. So what happened was, the girls got me, and they took me to a place and told me, you can get him expended here. Now you're probably saying, "Oh, well, you just told your mum not to do it because she'd get suspended." And I'm like, because then he'd pick on your kids, well, yeah, on your friends, well, I'm like, yeah, but these girls felt, they actually spoke some sense. They said, "Oh, he could get, expelled." I'm like, "Oh, well, I didn't know that," because it didn't say anything about expelled in like, because they give you a planner, and it tells you the rules. Like, if you bully someone, you get like suspended for a small amount of time. I'm like, "Oh, okay," but there was nothing about expelling somebody. So what happened was, went in, I started talking, and then they started saying, "Oh, we saw him do it," and then they'd bring him in, and he'd write something. And what happened was, he got expelled until the very last year of my college year, and he spoke to me and called me names, but he dared punch me ever again. And I'm actually kind of... I know people are probably saying, "Well, why didn't the teachers sort it out earlier?" In a sense, if I said I got bullied, besides from me, there is no other piece of evidence to prove that he punched me. But the girls, they saw him punch me. They're enough evidence to get him expelled for the rest of the college year until the very last year. So I left college, I left Jeanette and mine, didn't talk to them again because they changed a lot after college. It was really hard to keep in contact with them. So I decided to try and, to be quite honest, I'm a pretty shy person. I don't like moving to a lot of places. So when I moved to college, I wasn't quite happy. And actually, around that time, I started getting interested in dating. Sadly, because I was a fat person, boys were not interested in me. So what happened was, I decided to try online dating. Not those dating sites, I don't trust them. But I went to places like Chat and Go, to try and find a guy. So, I went talking around and stuff, and I was like, I'm looking for a nice boy who likes me for my personality. I'm a shy girl. I love Pokemon. I started talking about my likes and dislikes, and a few boys took into me. And so the first boy I dated for a few weeks. And then he said, I'd like to see a picture of yourself, because I didn't tell anyone I was fat. So I showed him a picture. He broke up with me like a few days later. So, second guy I dated for about a week or two. Then he'd asked me, can I see a picture of you? So I showed him. He broke up with me the day afterwards. Third guy I date. You're thinking, third time's a charm. Third guy I date. It was for only a day, mind you, a day. And he said, I said, I might as well show you the picture now. So I showed him the picture, and he broke up with me on the same day. Then again, the same guy that broke up with me said, I think I know a few people who roleplay Pokemon stuff, and we'd like you to join our group. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, I can do that. I'm thinking, this is a good opportunity, I can find some more boys, I could try and get involved into a bigger community. It was a very small community, it used to be big. I met a few guys, I met Matt and Mike. Matt was the leader of the group, Mike was like the assistant. Now you're probably thinking, I'm betting it's Matt, the one who... Now, this is a really sad story, people. So this is a really sad story. So I started talking with Mike. We started role playing because they were involved in a role playing Lucario thing with guns and stuff. So Mike would teach me about the different types of guns and what guns I wanted. I was like, I like playing the sniper rifle. I like using a sniper rifle a lot. Not in real life, but in games, I'd always use a sniper rifle. I was pretty good at it. So I made a Riolu character, and I'll put a picture up on this video. And she had a sniper rifle, and Mike, he made a new Riolu character. So then I would have somebody to roleplay off of. So then, this was my first time roleplaying. I wasn't involved with roleplaying at that point. So we roleplayed a bit, and I was talking to him about how I couldn't find a guy that liked me for who I am, and I had always gotten broken up. And also, before I do continue on, I had also dated an emo boy. I can't remember when that was, but I dated an emo boy, and that was the worst time of my life. Now, I've got nothing against emos. I respect them dearly. I understand what pain they're going through, I think, but the emo boy that I dated, he was really, really annoying me. Every time he'd talk to me, he said, I'm gonna cut myself. I've cut myself, I'm gonna die. I'm like, well, call the hospital, you freaking... I'm like, God's sake, I'm trying to help them. And he was really depressing me to the point that I just couldn't do it. So I stopped talking to him, and I broke up with him. And if you're thinking, it wasn't that quick, I'm like, no, this was a few months or something. So, and that was the worst time of my life. Because it was really depressing. Anyway, what happened was... Anyway, back to the Mike story. So Mike, I was talking to him about how I couldn't find a boy that liked me. For my personality, my look, for my personality. And Mike was like, well, can I see a picture of you to see how you look? I'm like, sure, but I'm a bit fat. So, I show him a picture. And he's like, yeah, you're fat, but you look really cute. I'm like, oh. So, obviously, it was love at first talk. So, we didn't actually fall in love at that point, but I started talking to him a bit more, got used to him, started talking to him, and he said he couldn't find a lot of girls either. Which is kind of annoying because he looks really good. I'm not going to post a picture of him because I don't think that would be a good idea. But I started talking to him, started knowing him a bit more, and sooner or later we started dating each other, and this was when I started college as well. I'm not going to go into my college because my college experience is pretty boring. I want to just talk about the Mike story because the Mike story is pretty good. So, me and Mike, we dated for 2 years. And what happened was, our personal lives was getting in the way. So we decided to break up because it was getting we couldn't constantly see each other anymore. So we decided to break up for the best of both of our futures. And what happened was, I didn't see him for around a few months. So, and then one of his old friends, the one that I dated the third time, showed up and asked, I asked him, "Hey, how's Mike doing?" And he's like, "Oh, you don't know?" I'm like, "What? He killed himself." I'm like, "Oh my god." And he said he jumped off a bridge and killed himself. And I sat there thinking, "Oh my freaking god, what if it's my fault?" And I'm there sobbing my head out, thinking, "Oh my god, is it me? Because I broke up with him." Well, then again, we agreed on the breakup together, so it wasn't me heartbreaking him, but we agreed together on the breakup. But I'm sat there thinking, "Oh my god." And like, I'm never gonna see him or talk to him again. He was a really nice guy. And like, so, and a lot of people talk about suicide with the Maroon story, going around. Don't worry if I'm not crying. So I grieved very much. I grieved over the years, on the inside, of course. I never cried. Actually, I asked him, okay, I'm gonna just go for a bit and cry. So I went to my bed and I closed my door really hard and I locked it so that no one would come in. I went on the bed, started bawling my eyes out, and I started crying like hell. Cause I was there thinking, "Oh my god, what have I done?" And like, I'm just crying. I'm saying, "Mike, why did you do it? Why did you kill yourself? You were such a nice lad." And it was really sad. And I grieved. I couldn't think about him. So, as soon as I got back on, when I saw his name on Skype, I started, because we saw each other on Skype a lot, I started bawling again. So, I removed his account from my Skype so then I wouldn't start crying. And then, I'd see that I saved his DeviantArt account onto my bookmarks. And I started crying again. And I couldn't bring myself to delete it. So what I did was, I moved it to the very bottom of my booklist account so that I didn't see it ever again. I was just sat there, and then instantly I went back to my bed and started crying. The story's gonna continue after these messages. Oh my god, that's so mean. I shouldn't be laughing at this story's gonna continue after this break.